Man, Sunday Night Football was a bit of a bummer on our end, but let's discuss what happened. What is up, everyone? Only DS here. Today we are going to discuss one of the most crucial games of the Dolphins season as we face the Eagles in Week 7 of the 2023-24 NFL season. And this game was supposedly one of Tua Tagovailoa's biggest tests and a chance to change the narratives on us on if we're legit enough to be in the Super Bowl, if we're legit enough to even beat good teams. And we still got a little to prove. Even with an explosive offense, the Eagles defense were A+. However, the game was deemed controversial due to how the refs handled the ball game, including the Cedric Wilson face mask from James Bradbury, one of the Eagles cornerbacks. And it left me by surprise from the ref who was right behind him, and he didn't even bother throwing something because I don't understand how that they couldn't pay attention to like what the Eagles were doing, but were so attentive to what the Dolphins were doing. And I will explain how much of an impact it was for the whole game itself. If you are new to the channel, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications because I will be doing more Dolphins coverage like this in the future and more post-game videos like this in the future. I mean, I'm doing this a day after the ball game because like it was a primetime one and I had to like get ready for college, so I couldn't make the time to make a video, but it was good because I had to share some thoughts. It was like such a big game, but let's get right into the video. I will also be putting timestamps in the description, so if you are bored and want to get to some of the important details that I would like to share, you can feel free to do so, but let's not waste any more time. So we beg the question, did refs rig the game? For me, in my opinion, at least partially, but not fully. While I can admit most of the penalties we did deserve, including offsides and false starts, I mean, yeah, those were technically on us. We put this on ourselves. But the ones that did catch me off guard were one of it was offensive holding on Cotton. The Tua pass to Tyreek Hill, and somehow a light grab is considered an offensive holding. Seemed pretty weird to me, doesn't it? Another blatant one that I will call out is the Christian Wilkins roughing the passer during a 3-3 tie game. And it looked like Jalen Hurts contributed to the roughing the passer call because he did kind of flop during the push. I don't know how that constitutes a roughing the passer penalty. It doesn't meet the necessary requirements. I mean, like Christian Wilkins, it looked on the replay like it was a little shove that was no biggie. This really concerns me about the future of football because it's not really the football that I've expected. You're supposed to be going aggressive. That's the whole point of playing such a big game like this. And like there's a reason why it's called tackle football and not flag football. We're not playing soft and just like grabbing a strip. That you're basically holding on to the person or just trying to bring him down. Like where's the fun in that if you're just gonna like put light pushes or like make sure to do it pretty carefully? That's not how you get players as fast as possible. And to end off this big segment, here are a few offensive holding calls that the refs never even bothered to pay attention to because yet again, the refs love giving Eagles the benefit. Real nice officiating, team. Now let's look at the stats from the 31-17 loss. All right, Tua Tagovailoa, 216 yards, 1 touchdown, and that one costly interception from the second half. Yeah, offense was pretty sloppy, and we can't be giving most of the passes to Tyreek Hill. We need to like switch it up a bit because if you remember from what happened last game against the Carolina Panthers, Tyreek Hill was experiencing cramps. So we need to start sharing. Our receivers need to start receiving, and well, look at Cedric Wilson Jr. not bad, not a bad like a replacement for Jalen Waddle, who had to be out for a bit because of back pain. I will explain like injuries going forward, because like I'm not sure how Waddle's status is thus far. Rushing, 45 yards for Mostert. And this explains a whole lot about the Eagles' run defense, because like they're I think #1 in the league in that, and they've proved themselves by handling Mostert and limiting him to less than 50 yards. Way to go, Eagles! I will give you a lot of respect for that. I mean, overall, your defense and offense is like stacked. Tyreek Hill, not the usual stats you would see from Hill in one game with the Dolphins. 88 yards from the 11 receptions catched. One touchdown. Yeah, I enjoyed that touchdown. Of like, I always love seeing the plays where Tua throws a deep pass to Tyreek Hill, and that one cornerback, I don't care who's who, blows that coverage. Tyreek Hill is just speedy. Jalen Waddle, 6 receptions for 63 yards. Just explain what Cedric Wilson Jr. did. Not bad, 48 yards. If that helped you in your DraftKings fantasy lineup, good for you. Braxton Berrios, iffy. 1 reception, 7 yards, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I've been explaining this to some of my Dolphins friends all across social media, that the OL needs a whole lot of work, and we need to start trading and getting good offensive linemen. Like, we've been so focused on getting running backs, and we didn't even need to get Dalvin Cook or Jonathan Taylor, because now we got Devon Achane. So all that like paying attention to like getting a rusher was no good use, because we need to focus more on the OL, because that gives Tua time. This is what my uncle has been explaining to me, and like the costly injuries, especially from Teron Armstead, who's a good blocker for us. That made a severe impact for Tua getting time, and with Isaiah Wynn, yeah, the list goes on. Now let's look at the Philadelphia stats. Jalen Hurts, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He had 279 passing yards. Rushing, Swift, 15 carries for 62 yards. Jalen Hurts had that 1 rushing touchdown from the tush push. I'm telling you, that's a big phenomenon to use. Like it's quite impossible to like combat against it, because like it works most of the time for everybody around the league. AJ Brown, 10 receptions, 137 yards. 1 touchdown. Dallas Goedert, 5 receptions, 77 yards, 1 touchdown. Devontae Smith, sloppy night with 49 yards. And that's pretty much it. I believe, in my opinion, this is a better loss to take compared to the Buffalo Bills, because we played straight out terrible, giving up like 46, 48 points to the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, it was a sloppy defensive game. Like, I'm still trying to put my trust in Vic Fangio, but hopefully he'll progress well in the later seasons. And we'll have another big test against the Chiefs in Germany. I still kind of wish it was at Arrowhead Stadium, so they can greet Tyreek Hill back, because that would definitely be a fun one to watch. Mahomes meeting his former receiver. But let's just continue forth. Let's talk about the injuries and concerns. Now, before the game, we didn't have Jalen Ramsey, Xavier Howard, which was supposed to be our most important guy to like be in for the game, but instead we got Kader Kohu. We didn't have Devon Achane, who was on injured reserve. Yeah, we could have took, but we're not. Let's not make this into an excuse, because the Eagles had 2 important secondary injuries that we could have taken advantage of, but we had troubles on the OLDL side of things. And yeah, Isaiah Wynn went down, and not on the wide receiver, and Jalen Waddle had experienced some back pain in the first half. And this is starting to become a growing concern. The injuries are piling up. There's a long list going on. But hopefully we can get through the 2 games before the bye week, because like we can only hope for these guys to get their rest needed in check, and back and ready to go, because like we would love to have a full roster and less injuries like to be affecting the crucial point of the games. Also, one thing I forgot to mention, the collision between David Long and Javon Holland. Just got news that Javon Holland went to concussion protocol. And this is another growing concern. Not sure what the status is of David Long Jr.'s is, but lots of prayers are out to them, and hopefully they recover quick, because this is not the type of thing that you want to see when, like, not just even when you're a Dolphins fan, but like a fan of like any NFL team. Like, concussion protocol is literally the worst, like the worst thing, like similar to like leg injuries. It's like I can't even, like, with the Nick Chubb stuff. It's so crazy. I don't even know why I was bringing Nick Chubb in this. I'm sorry. I'm just making an example. But anyways, let's talk about the schedule. Next week we play the Patriots, but that won't do anything to shift the narrative that we can't beat good teams. But I kind of hate the bias though from like the mainstream companies, but because we've beaten good teams, especially last year, that big comeback against the Ravens week 2. I will never ever forget that one. We beat the Bills in our home court 21-19. It's doable, but we just need to stay healthy. That's all that matters. Not only we got the big game in Germany, but last 3 games is where we need to start proving our worth before our playoff run. Because if we're going to try to make it to the Super Bowl and make ourselves legit Super Bowl contenders, we got to show them what we've got. And another thing I want to point out, Dolphins still lead the division after 7 weeks. I didn't expect Buffalo to be at a 4-3 record, but here they are. It's quite amazing. But all that matters now is that we've got to hold on to the league, win our ball games. We can't really depend on division help, because like we got to do our part into helping build the offense back together, and getting the defense, like turn the tables on the defense, because we got to stop those high scoring games, you know. Feel free to share in the comment section what you thought about the game. Will Tua be able to stay healthy for the rest of the season? What adjustments could the Dolphins make to make things in good shape for our potential Super Bowl run? If you guys believe the Dolphins can make the Super Bowl and possibly win it all. Fins up, everyone. God bless. Thank you so much for listening to my commentary, and have a great day, everybody.